Hello everyone, and welcome to the unit Challenges and Opportunities Transforming to SAP S/4HANA. I'm Michael Sokolek. I work as a Senior Director in the SAP Signavio Strategic Customer Transformation team. In the past, I've worked with many clients on their SAP S/4HANA transformation as part of an overall cloud transformation. My major goal is to make customers successful when they transform to SAP S/4HANA. I work with strategic customers to generate value across their transformation. As you can see on this slide, highlighted in blue, we are in week 1, unit 2. This week is all about introducing you to business transformation with SAP. So let us get started and talk about the challenges and opportunities transforming to SAP S/4HANA. Before we actually talk about the challenges and opportunities that customers face when they transform to SAP S/4HANA, let us take a moment to reflect why change is inevitable. When I joined SAP back in the 90s, at a point of time, SAP was heavily developing SAP ERP. During this decade, you might remember yourself, also cell phones became increasingly popular. You more or less could be reached by anybody, anytime, anywhere, by voice or by text. This had a huge impact not only on communication, but also on everyone's behavior. If you could not reach someone, you could leave a voicemail or send a text message. If you wanted to meet a friend, you no longer needed to tell him exactly when and where to meet, but simply say, "Give me a call when you're ready." Fast forward to today. We still use cell phones, but the way we use them is entirely changed as technology dramatically advanced. Some of you still do calls or send short messages, but most likely you have a favorite app, sending voice messages or pictures. Your cell phones became your camera. And if you travel, you will for sure have an app that will give you a prediction when you should start or when you will arrive. These are just a few examples. Our experience in our private life determines nowadays also our requirements for business applications and the expectations of customers to organizations and their processes. Processes and applications need to be simple, fast, flexible, supporting instant communications, and being accessible from anywhere, anytime. SAP ERP was built in the 90s. Like the cell phone, even though they will still run, they do not meet the requirements of today's world. Therefore, change is inevitable. To meet these requirements, we built SAP S/4HANA with key design principles, such as the usage of our in-memory database HANA, the choice of deployment between a public and a private cloud, but also with the goal to simplify processes and provide a user interface that can be accessed also via mobile devices. Existing SAP customers who have been running one or multiple SAP ERP systems for many years find themselves faced with not only the move to SAP S/4HANA and process changes, but very often with a bigger cloud transformation project, requiring even more processes to be redesigned. But also new SAP customers who have taken the decision to implement SAP S/4HANA must transform their legacy processes while implementing SAP S/4HANA. The transition to SAP S/4HANA, or Rise of SAP, has the goal to move to the public cloud edition or our private cloud. It requires to consider what is the right amount of systems that suits an organization best. Is it a single instance, which might require system consolidation? Is it a new S/4HANA template, which have to be rolled out to an organization via multiple productive instances? Or do other architecture patterns, such as a two-tier landscape, which compromises private and public cloud systems, or a centralized finance layer, leveraging SAP S/4HANA Central Finance, are a better fit? Taking into account the current state and the desired future state, there are three potential transformation paths that are possible: a new implementation, a system conversion, a selective data transition. Customers might have already made a decision which transformation path is the right one for their organization, or they are still uncertain which path to choose. And they might have not decided when they will move to SAP S/4HANA, as both value and costs are unclear. Irrespective of the current state, the future state, and the transition paths, business process change will happen when moving to SAP S/4HANA. Initially, but also continuously beyond, as an ERP system needs to evolve, as any business keeps changing and an investment into an ERP must generate value. In line with the initial business process change, a new implementation is often referred to as a greenfield, as a high number of processes will be impacted. A system conversion is called brownfield, as the number of processes that you will keep is higher. Or as bluefield, goldfield, or any other mixed color to indicate that it's a combination of both. So while the initial amount of process change might be different, over time, customers will touch gradually almost all their business processes. This business process change results in challenges, but also opportunities, for which customers need to find answers. These answers which help them to drive their S/4HANA transformation. So let us talk about what these challenges and opportunities are. The transformation to SAP S/4HANA is for every organization a big project, requiring a significant investment. Therefore, the first challenge that we discuss is, how does an organization ensure that the transformation adds value? In order to ensure that the transition to SAP S/4HANA adds value to a business, an organization needs to improve their business processes. The starting point to any improvement is transparency, how processes are executed today. Most organizations I've worked had not the transparency into their processes, into their process performance. Are there blockers that prevent the processes from running as efficiently as possible? Are there certain units of the organization where processes are executed much better than in other units? The first step to achieve value is to gain process transparency. In the next step, organizations need to validate the process improvement potential together with their business stakeholders and process experts and make them quantifiable. By describing what value an organization can get from changing processes, it is possible to make an initial prioritization and focus where it matters most. Organizations also need to ensure that they overcome the resistance of any change by ensuring management buy-in. In summary, the next step that organizations must achieve is make the value of change measurable. If organizations have identified process improvement potential and quantified the value of the improvement, then they need to know how to realize value. What are the new SAP S/4HANA innovations that they should consider to improve processes? Are there any changes that organizations can do prior to the move to SAP S/4HANA? Organizations need to redesign processes in order to realize the value. During the transformation, organizations implement new SAP S/4HANA innovations to realize the defined process improvements in close collaboration between business and IT, enabling the users on the new way of working. Once they've gone live with SAP S/4HANA, organizations start to measure the value contribution of the process improvements, gaining process transparency again. Throughout each step, organizations need to ensure alignment among all stakeholders and communicate actively to connect the dots, from initial findings to process changes being implemented. Providing process transparency, making the value of change measurable, and identifying how to change processes allows organizations also to ensure that their SAP S/4HANA transition is not just an IT initiative, but a business initiative. By showing quantifiable business benefits, organizations obtain management buy-in to provide critical business resources to the project, required to make change happen. ERP transformations, in general, are widely known as being over time and over budget, and are by no means fast. Therefore, the second challenge that organizations are facing is, how does an organization make the transformation as fast as possible? To accelerate the overall transformation project, organizations need to shift up gears and shorten the lead time of the transformation phases. Let's have a look at the two key levers. On the one hand side, organizations should aim for fast time to insights. Fast time to insights means gain quick insights where to change by understanding how processes are running today, getting recommendations how to change. On the other hand, organizations should aim for fast time to adopt of process changes in IT systems. They prioritize in the beginning. Fast time to adopt means to define target processes taking not only into account the already gained insights and recommendations, but additionally to leverage SAP best practice content. In other words, don't start from scratch, but take SAP standard as a basis for future processes that are validated in fit-to-standard workshops. Being able to use the process design during the solution build, test, and deploy, which is supported by application lifecycle management, with a tight integration into business process transformation management, avoids data redundancies. An integrated toolchain is essential. And to ensure collaboration, as I've mentioned previously, among all stakeholders in business and IT. Fast time to insights and fast time to depth get facilitated by our end-to-end business process transformation methodology that you will get to know in more detail in Unit 3 this week. The key steps of this methodology are displayed as an infinity loop on that screen. Change does not stop with the move to SAP S/4HANA, but continues infinitely afterwards. You've probably heard the saying, never change a running process or a system, it works, right? This is usually done to avoid any change, as change is always associated with risk. Transparency of process change and collaboration can reduce risk drastically and thereby making change manageable. Change, which is inevitable to add value. Therefore, the third challenge is, how does an organization ensure that change is manageable? Making the transformation manageable builds up on the answers of the two previous questions. Manageable means that organizations follow a clearly structured transformation approach with a set of predefined steps and milestones and objectives. Make the transformation targets, as well as the necessary process changes, not only transparent to everyone, but ensure that everyone supports them. Have management buy-in for the project. It's a business initiative and not an IT initiative. Break down silos between all business and IT stakeholders using processes as the vehicle. Have sufficient human resources empowered to make decisions. In other words, roles and responsibilities are clearly defined. Finally, embed change management and enablement into your transformation as a critical success factor. If customers want to drive their SAP S/4HANA transformation, they need to find answers to these three questions and associated challenges. How does an organization ensure that the transformation adds value? How does an organization make the transformation as fast as possible? And how does an organization ensure that change is manageable? SAP Signavio solutions will help customers to find answers for these challenges. By participating in this openSAP course, you will learn everything customers need to know to drive their SAP S/4HANA transformation to success. Let me repeat probably the most important point again. SAP S/4HANA transformations are business initiatives and not IT projects. If the transition to SAP S/4HANA is only a technical one with the focus only to keep what have been built in the past, or implement SAP S/4HANA newly without considering the need to lay the foundation for a continuous improvement phase afterwards, customers reduce dramatically the value that SAP S/4HANA brings to their organization. The investment that customers make into business process transformation management will not only unlock the value that SAP S/4HANA brings to their organization by changing business processes, it will be also essential to reduce the depths of the past, such as no longer required modifications or process enhancements. Let me close by talking about the key takeaways. First, every successful SAP S/4HANA transformation impacts business processes, irrespectively of the transformation path. Second, the transformation provides the opportunity to create business value by improving processes, leveraging SAP S/4HANA capabilities. Process change requires collaboration and alignment among stakeholders is a third point. It ensures that change is not seen as a threat, but as an opportunity. Finally, in order to accelerate transformation, fast time to insights and fast time to adopt are the two key levers, leveraging data-driven insights from your system as well as predefined accelerators. I'm looking forward to see you again in Unit 3, where we continue to dive into how SAP Signavio solutions drive S/4HANA transformations.